Hello everyone, this is Kason41, just chiming back in with a little bit of an update on what I have been up to with the Reverse Survivors project. Kind of holidays and everything like that have kind of taken me out of commission for a minute, so also my son's not sleeping through the night like at all, so I'm very tired. It's very hard to muster up the desire to work on a little side project whenever you're getting like sometimes 3 hours of sleep a night and then you have to go to work and do all your normal stuff. But I have been chipping away at it. I have been doing little things. As you can see down here, I updated it to alpha 0.3 because I feel comfortable doing that with just a handful of the stuff that I've added. I think what I would want to title this video would probably be like the wave selection and a little bit of juice update or something like that. So let's just jump into it and show you what all I've been up to. So first of all, music and stuff like that, all kind of the same. I do eventually have to come in here and change that this stays like with like part of your profile that gets saved. I need to update that, but nothing too extreme has changed there. Nothing too extreme has changed in the upgrades. The main area that has actually changed is during the gameplay. So same kind of screen here and everything like that. Now there's just a lot more juice, as well as like a new mechanic that I would like to show off. So you start your game as per normal. I'm actually going to go ahead and turn down everything just a little bit more there. But everything pretty much normal at this point, nothing too crazy, except for a little bit of juice. So now whenever the monsters die, they kind of shatter into a bunch of different pieces. It adds a really nice effect. It makes things a lot less boring, in my opinion. I believe it's been a minute. I believe the damage numbers and everything like that were in the last ones, but no real changes to that other than they break into chunks, is from what you can see. Now, I'm hoping to get it on camera. I'm actually going to make the monsters come in from the bottom to see if I can get it on camera. I'll come back to that in a second. One thing that I have added is just a border to this, just so it looks a little bit cleaner. Kind of still looks, pretty stand-in, but it'll work for now. One of the things that I have done is these XP particles, whenever we actually collect one, if I could actually be able to see that, it does a little particle effect. Hopefully we'll see that sooner rather than later. One of the other things that I've done is you can now select your wave composition. So instead of only being able to summon monsters via this nice new juicy button click effect that I've added, you can now toggle this little juicy checkbox button that kind of like slams to the side, and it will start spawning whatever monster you've selected. So you can kind of edit the composition of your waves dynamically, so you don't have to spend magic points or anything like that on that. It'll just work. And you can kind of just start spamming out different kinds of monsters. So let's say bats and rats, and they'll just start coming in, and they all chunkify whenever they die. So it just adds a lot more juice to the game. I'm really surprised that I haven't been able to see any of these XP things explode, but they explode in like a little blue, yeah, down here in the bottom right. They explode with like a little blue kind of explosion, which is just a little bit of a particle effect and stuff like that. Pretty simple, but it does make the game feel a little bit more interactive whenever there is a lot of monsters on the screen. So let's go ahead and click this juicy button a bunch of times and just get a bunch of zombies on the screen here that this guy can probably deal with. Hopefully we don't kill him. But you will start to see just kind of how much better it feels now that they chunkify like that. And let's summon stuff from the left here to make sure that we can watch some of these explode. Yeah, it just feels a lot better. That is not the only stuff that I've done, but it was a lot of like juice, basically trying to make things feel a little bit better. That pause is still in there whenever there are no targets. Basically this means the hero has gotten too strong, so we will go ahead and start sending in rats and bats. And also orcs. Actually, let's uncheck all this. This guy's actually pretty weak to orcs. We could actually end this fight pretty much immediately if we want to. We could just summon a couple extra orcs here, and that'll probably end him. There's also juice effects on the exchange over here, which is just nice, just little touches. Let's go ahead and send some rats up top, force them down into the other orcs and win. We also added just a very basic kind of same deal as the draft panel upgrade, kind of background to this, just so it's not so basic, so beige and boring, but nothing too crazy there. A lot of what I have focused on was kind of code quality, as well as like that juice of making them split up into a bunch of different things. I really don't like this girl's sound effects. I really kind of just want to get rid of her attack sound effect. But I'm going to keep it for now because it's just something that I have. The Ranger is significantly harder than the basic person, but we are going to go ahead and cheat a little bit. We are going to go ahead and summon a mini boss. And they should be coming somewhere. Oh, she's just way faster. She's way faster than the boss. But these mini boss monsters will now spawn, instead of just at level 10 and 20, they'll spawn at 30 and 40 with 1 at level 10, 2 at level 20, 3 at level 30, and 4 at level 40. Basically, if you haven't power creeped enough to take out said hero by then, you're probably not gonna for quite some time. But he also chunkifies. She is a lot harder to kind of take down, but the nature of it is I spent a lot of time doing this juice. VFX is not something that I'm very comfortable with as a developer. I am really good at code, but I am not so good at doing all the art and animation stuff, which actually brings me to my next point. I have decided to kind of launch a little Patreon, not just for, this game, but more so for just my content in general. Basically, supporting the content in general would kind of, the funds would go to really wherever they're needed. Most likely it would go to kind of doing better art and stuff like that for various little project games I make. Will any of these actually land on Steam? Who knows? I have a wife and kids, so I really can't take too many big risks or anything like that. I can't quit my day job unless something just goes absolutely gangbusters or something. There's just no way that I can risk any kind of stability basically in my life until like it would kind of come to fruition. So, but either way, Patreon funds, there's a couple tiers. I kind of capped it at $10. I feel really awkward taking any more money than that from people just because it doesn't feel right to me. Kind of all you're getting is, showing me support, get your name in the credits kind of thing. But there are 3 tiers. There's a tier 1, I think it's just $1 a month. And that's basically just saying, hey, I like your stuff, keep it up, that's awesome. I think there is a $3 or $5 tier, I can't remember. Patreon basically yelled at me if I tried to set the prices too low, so I set them to kind of whatever it recommended. And that's just going to kind of give you, I'm going to start doing, near the end of the videos, I'm going to start putting the supporters' names up here, is kind of just, hey, you're supporting the content, you're supporting the games and stuff like that, and that's awesome. And I would really hope to take some of that money. My actual plan with it is to just set it in like a separate account of some description, and then just use that money solely to kind of improve my YouTube presence as well as the games that I make primarily is the plan. I would love to get enough money built up so I could do eventually a Steam release of some description, hire a decent artist, get decent art. Any VFX stuff that would kind of be needed would also be awesome. As well as, the Steam publishing fee and everything like that, as well as just having an idea that I feel comfortable enough fleshing out and actually creating to the end, basically more polished than this for sure, and publishing it on Steam. And I would probably figure out a way to keep track of who supported me during the Patreon and give them keys as well. Is kind of the plan if I eventually do a Steam release. But really all it boils down to is exactly like I said, I have a wife, I have a kid, I have kids. Like, I really can't just quit my day job. Everything I do has to kind of just be on the side, and honestly I kind of like it that way. In a way, I think I would love to do this stuff full time if I could. I could spend more time editing and spend more time actually creating games and actually doing reviews and doing all this stuff, but part of me also likes the fact that it's just kind of a hobby. I come back to it whenever I can. I leave it whenever I can. There's no real expectation of quality or anything like that. So I don't know. It might be a mixed bag. Fully expect the Patreon to, I hope it goes well, but fully expect it to kind of not do that great. But I would love it if it did. It would be kind of awesome if we could get a decent amount of funds there, get a Steam page, launch a game together. It's also supposed to be a very interactive form. It's kind of my goal to chat with people, interact with people that are into the same kind of things as me, and give feedback on the game and stuff like that. Also, if you do want to give feedback on any of my games, you can totally do that. I publish this one on itch. If you're interested in that, you can go over there and check it out. This update will be up there shortly, and it just makes things a little bit juicier. Not too much more content. Hopefully the next couple of updates will be around content, just as I have the time. Forgot to mention one last thing for the Patreon. One thing that I am providing that is hopefully a useful learning resource is any like little YouTube Godot demos that I decide to make. I'm going to upload the files to the Patreon, so you can take a look at those little demo files and just see how I made the demo. Right now there's only one. It's the Cache Cleaner Simulator Godot demo that I made. I'm not sure if people have even seen it watching this. That video had a lot less viewers than the Devlog videos do. But it's just kind of a demo of how the cache cleaner, cache sorting simulator, cache cleaning simulator? No, the the sorter worked. And you can just get the project files from there, and you can take a look at how I did that, maybe learn something yourself. And that'll be a benefit to anybody that does more than the very, very basic tier of support, which I think is $5. But overall, I think that's pretty much it. Hopefully people can give me a little bit of feedback on the direction the little project game that I'm working on is going. And if they're still interested, I think I'm going to take some time to not only kind of think of extra things about the game, but also to kind of work on other side little projects as I go to kind of improve upon one area of stuff as I go. Because it's very hard to kind of learn in a project that you actually intend on keep making for the foreseeable future, just in your spare time. So I might have to just make like other one-off little game jam projects or something like that to kind of just learn certain mechanics that I don't feel super comfortable with toying around in such a semi-complex, not that this is super complex, but semi-complex project. So hopefully I'll be doing a couple more like one-off, small, little polished kind of things that I'll have up on itch and whatnot, and kind of expand my portfolio and expand my skills. Because really it's all a learning journey, man. Everything about this is just a learning journey. I do this all for fun. I do it all just for the joy of learning and having a good time. So if I can keep doing that and have a little bit of money to possibly make some kind of commercial success eventually, that would be wonderful. But until then, I think I'm done with Devlog 8, the monster selection and juice update, I think is what I'm going to call it. And hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully you play it on itch and let me know your thoughts. But until then, I will see y'all next time. See you.